friends, thanks for joining me today. I am so excited to show you my very first Christmas journal that I've ever made. It's a big day for me. We're going to do a flip through today, but first I wanted to tell you, don't be alarmed. I know that you've probably noticed that my flamingo backdrop is missing. In honor of my Christmas journal, we have more of a Christmas backdrop. However, I have included two friendly flamingo here for us, so no worries there. So a couple of things I want to share with you real quick before we get started on our flip through. One is this is a design team project with Studio 28E, and the digital designs are by Sherry Schmear. And I will have the link to the digital kit in my description box. The other thing I wanted to share with you was that my friend Lori Edwards at Enchanted Dreams 71, it's her first Christmas journal too, and she's also doing her flip through today. So that's very fun and exciting. Kind of did this together, and it's just been great and fun to have some camaraderie in our first Christmas journals. So if you haven't checked out her channel, go ahead and do so. She has become a really good friend of mine on YouTube, and I'm glad to know her. Lastly, I wanted to mention that I will have this journal for sale on my Etsy shop if you are at all interested. And lastly, I wanted to mention that you'll see some coffee gold papers that I created, and I'll have them in my Etsy shop too. They're really beautiful, and I think they're perfect for the season. Oh, and lastly, I wanted to tell you that I'm trying to keep this flip through pretty quick because they can get very long, and this book is huge. So I wanted to just mention that there are two other videos, process videos, and they talk about some of the items that I have in the book and maybe how I did something. So if you were interested in more of the breakdown or real specifics, I will link those two videos in my description box as well. She comes with a tie. It's just a small tie. I've taken it off, but I wanted to kind of just hold her up real quick and show her to you because I wanted you to kind of see the scale. And she's 10 inches tall. She is 6 inches wide, but she is 3.5 inches thick. Did I do that right? Maybe this is the wide part, I don't know. But anyway, you can see she's large. She comes with this beautiful tassel, and I'll be giving you a little close-up of the tassel in the video, but then also a closer close-up on Tuesday for Tassel Tuesday. Which, by the way, if any of you want to join Tassel Tuesday, feel free. I'll put your link in my description box. But this video is not about that. We'll get to that later. So anyway, here she is. I love her. I think she's beautiful. She is just full of goodies. So let's get to it so you can see inside. I did the cover in paper, and I put a vintage doily on it. And for the closure, I did this ribbon. This is not glued on, so this could be switched out with something else or just completely removed if somebody wanted it to. And of course, here is our removable tassel. And to do the flip through, I will go ahead and remove it. She is full of Christmas embellishments all the way around. Here's the spine, this is the back, and this is the front. I used vintage music paper from my friend Rosa at Sun and Moon Arts. Thank you, Rosa. I'm so thrilled to use this paper you gave me in my very first Christmas journal. On the inside, this is paper, and I wrapped the outside paper in, and then I distressed it with some ink. I used a kit by Studio 28E, and I combined that with a scrapbook pack, and I have two previous videos. If you want more details on the scrapbook pack, you can check that out. You'll notice that on each edge of almost each page, I have put either ribbon or some sort of embellishment. And lastly, the thing I want to tell you before we start moving through more quickly is that I used a book that's also in the video before this one. I dissected a book basically, and I combined it with the kit and then the scrapbook paper pad that I used. Also, in the previous videos, I showed which pages were the kit and which were the scrapbook pads, so you can refer back to those if you wanted to know more about that. Anything with this deep red, this is vintage velvet ribbon. This has a Christmas card list in case you wanted to keep track. Another thing I wanted to mention was in this throughout, I used my coffee and gold paper. I don't know if you can see the gold shimmer on there, but this is paper that I made. It's really beautiful and it works perfectly in this journal. More vintage music paper from Rosa at Sun and Moon Arts. Thank you, Rosa. This is a vintage piece of advertisement from an old bank statement, and I backed it with just cardstock so it could be journaled on, but I thought that was kind of fun. Just an empty Christmas card. You could journal in it or use it for a friend. I wanted to mention that in the belly bands or pockets where there's just one sheet of paper, I will go through and add more. I didn't want to do that for the flip through because then it's just a lot of, papers to go through. But I'll stuff it with more before I list it to my Etsy shop. This is one of my favorite images from the kit. So cute. Here we have the Christmas gift list, and this was part of that book that I took apart, but I thought that was a perfect thing to have. And then the family's wish list. I'm hoping I can find another one of those books at the thrift store so that I can do that again next year. I thought that was pretty neat to be able to do that. Here's some vintage linen from a friend. You'll notice that I sewed in much of the coffee and gold paper. This is a vintage Christmas card that went out to someone. I found this at an estate sale. It could be opened and journaled inside, like a little secret journal spot. You'll notice that throughout I put this is a lot of the pages from the book that I disassembled. I just thought that was kind of fun. This is a sleeve from a shirt that I disassembled for a journal I did a while back. It's like a little envelope letter from the kit. So many of the images were so cute, and I didn't want to cover them with belly bands or pockets. I figure somebody can write around them, or they can put a picture of their own down here or up here, whatever they want to do. I used my paper punch around all the edges of the paper. I inked around a lot of the edges. I used red and green in this book. Gifts received, so that you could make a note of the gift and the giver if you wanted to send them a thank you note. This says Christmas is coming, and then underneath it says Yuletide memories. This is one of the decoupage napkins that I did. It's a vintage Christmas card from 1990. It's another decoupage napkin I got from my friend Lori Edwards at Enchanted Dream 71. This is wrapping paper here, and I just did like a little collage, if you will, a little embellishing. You could write on this side. It's another one of the napkins that I decoupaged into the book. This is a page from the book that I disassembled, and this is a part of the calendar that was in it, and I just embellished it. Most treasured moments, a little spot to write about it. My Christmas vacation. I sewed in some wrapping paper here and some journaling space underneath. And then here's another picture from that book, and I just covered a little collage that I did. This is a little burlap napkin. It's actually for holding silverware, but I like to use these in my journals. They're a lot of fun. Here's the menu planner. This is an envelope that was given to me by Lori at Enchanted Dream 71, and I just stuffed it with some of my coffee gold and an image from the kit. Now this image from the kit actually prints out plain. I printed it onto paper that's this grayish color with these snowflakes on it. And here's a time card. Here's a vintage envelope, and it is from December 17th. It even has the time, 2 p.m., 1990, from Wynwood, Pennsylvania. And inside is some coffee dyed paper that I embellished with a part of that book that I disassembled. This is the card that was originally in the envelope. I just used it as a page. It says favorite decorations. An altered playing card. This is a Christmas card. It has not been used, and the envelope is with it. I thought that was cute for either journaling in or sending out to a friend. This is the other side of the vintage Christmas card that I put in here. This is my surprise pocket, and I'm going to be stuffing it with a few more items. But I'm going to add some more surprise items so that whoever purchases this can have a little surprise. Here's the other side of another one of the vintage Christmas cards. And on the back I sewed, you can kind of see it here, this red. I sewed a doily onto it, and then I embellished the doily with some reindeer. And up here, this little corner piece, which is so pretty and coppery, I got that from my friend Annie at Annie Creates. Thank you, Annie. This is one of my favorite pages. I like the plaid. This says, what does this say? Transcontinental Railroad, and it says 150 anniversary, and this was actually on stamps that I had purchased a while back, and I just thought it looked really cool. And then we have our horse from the horse-drawn carriage. Here's the other horse that was on the other side of it. And then from that same book I disassembled is another horse image, and I think that's really cool on my coffee and gold paper. And then I sewed in this cotton lace. Here's an altered paper clip, and I got this from somebody I did a swap with. I can't remember who sent this to me. If you did and you sent this to me, let me know, because I would be happy to put that in my description box. But I thought the colors went really well with this page. This is some paper that I dyed with a deeper color. It leans more onto the silver side. You can see some silver shimmer. I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I'll be listing some of that on my Etsy shop too. It'd be great for if you want to work with the color silver, but also great for grunge journal. This is an image of a cat, as you can see. Again, it's from the kit, but I printed it onto the snowflake paper. So if you see this image with the kit, it will not have the snowflake look. Here's the back page. Again, this is paper, and then I distressed the edge, you know, because you could see I wrapped this over, I tore it and then distressed it. I'm so glad that you watched this flip through of my first Christmas journal. I absolutely love her. She is available in my Etsy shop if you are interested. She will come with more items stuffed into her surprise pocket, and she will also come with this lovely tassel. Thanks for watching. See you soon.